Normalized version of the midday show as Bill Colarulo joins us once again after that windfall of an hour that we just had there. A lot of stuff going on. That was great. I want to remind you that the 12 o'clock hour, it's brought to you by Service First Heating and Air Conditioning. Get 0% financing for 72 months and a $500 rebate when you purchase a complete heating and cooling system from Service First. Learn more at servicefirst.hvac.com. Bill, what were your thoughts on that whirlwind there?
That was good stuff. That was good stuff. I'm surprised there's any air left in this room, though, with all that talent in here.
Yeah, it was getting sucked out, and it was bad air at the beginning as Andrew brought a gift. That wasn't very gift-worthy, but whatever. It was what it was. But, Bill, a lot of subjects that we brought up along with those guys as they were in here now that I'm anxious to get your response to. And the first thing I'll start off with is, how would you defend Jalen Brunson? What do head of the snake? We were talking about on that one. Head of the snake is such a common term. I heard it all the time, all the years that I covered the league. Head of the snake, you got to stop the head of the snake. He is that. How would you do it?
I think it's going to have to be from a lot of different people. I think Kelly Oubre will have a shot at it. I think Maxey will have a shot at it. Kyle Lowry will probably have a shot at it. You're not going to be able to stop him. You're just going to have to try to limit him. I mean, he's going to get his points. He's a scorer, but can he beat you by himself? I mean, who else is their scorers on the Knicks roster? Who else is going to be able to go for 30 in a game? Like, that's what I like about the Sixers. Not only can Joel put up 30, we know Maxey has the capability of going for 30. Hopefully you get 20 or more from Kelly Oubre. Who else are the scorers on that Knicks team outside of Brunson?
Yeah, there really isn't. I mean, DiVincenzo gets you 15 a game. As we know, he's a three-point shooter. He's very athletic. Like, he's not just that, but he is a very good three-point shooter, 40% for the year from there. Had a 50-point game earlier this year. Anunoby is more of a defender, but a guy that can get you points, another athletic wing that can get you points, but not at the, common rate of what has been of late Kelly Oubre, or definitely not a Joel Embiid. Maybe somewhere along the Tobias Harris kind of thing. And I say that people say, oh, he's as bad as Tobias. I'm not saying that. Tobias Harris averages 17 a game. Anunoby's around that. So that's where the comparison starts and stops. Let's not go there. But I think it's interesting because my first thought, like Andrew said when we were doing this, the guard-guard matchup. All right, you throw Kyle Lowry on their point guard and Jalen. Kyle Lowry will get his looks on him, no question about it. I think we're going to see, and let's take a look at this tomorrow night. I think Nick Batum is going to look to pick him up full court to just disrupt him, and not a full court like, oh, I'm staying with him. Just a disruption. Maybe the inbounds pass doesn't go to Brunson. Maybe Batum's there in the way with that big body against a littler guy, and maybe looks to swallow him up a little bit. You're going to have to back off of him, but at some points, I think you're going to see that. But I think they have to throw a lot of different looks at him, right, Bill?
That's what I think they'll do. I think they will do that. And I've had some Knicks fans, and I know some analysts have said that this team got better without Julius Randle. They became more of a team. But they lost, 24 points a game with Julius Randle?
Yeah.
So I know that the record kind of reflects that they've been okay without him. But in a playoff series, when you're looking for some scoring from other outside of your one star, I think the loss of Randall is going to hurt. I really do. And I'm praying that Tobias Harris contributes in this series. I'm not expecting Tobias Harris. I know they talked about it on the morning show. We hold his contract against him. He's not a max deal guy. We know that. We've learned that.
Yeah.
But I'm praying that Tobias Harris contributes because I do think you're not only going to need him on the offensive side, you're going to need him on the defensive side. He's going to have to be able to play defense. He's going to get his minutes. I still don't think he should be in the starting roster. The starting lineup. I still think the starting lineup should include Nico Batum. It's probably not going to happen. Tobias will probably start. But we're going to need him to contribute, whether you like him or not. And there was an article this morning from our Keith Pompey, friend of the station, saying this is his last year. Well, that's not a shock to a lot of people.
No.
Interesting that it came out today, but I still think Tobias has to contribute for his team to go on a run.
All right, let me ask you. Did he contribute the other night, in your opinion? Did he contribute the other night?
No.
Yeah.
He got tired. He played some hard minutes. I don't think he was contributing to what we needed him to contribute. But would you disagree with that?
No, because 9 points, 10 rebounds, but you had that one series where he missed like 3 layups and got his own rebound.
Yeah, that was 3 of his rebounds right there.
Yeah, so that's right there. Impact, no, you saw an air ball on a 3. You saw the missed layups. 9 points and 10 rebounds or 9 points and 10 rebounds in what was a low-scoring game. He was not in the game at the end of the game. Nick Nurse decided to get Kyle Lowry along with Batum. Those guys were in there instead of Tobias Harris. I don't think I would consider that that he contributed to that win much the other night. Ray, you have a different thought on that?
Did he contribute to what he needed to contribute? No. I think there was still a contribution there. I don't think it was necessarily to the level in which we should expect and, rightfully need from Tobias Harris night in and night out. Like, I think that's, to me, there was a couple of, I think it was early on, like 2 tough jumpers that he knocked down that I was like, what in the world? Like, how did he get those to go? And I was like, all right, maybe he's going to find a little bit of a rhythm. And then obviously late in the game, you see the air ball. I think there was a bad brick in there at one point. There are a couple of plays where, he makes a hustle play here or there where I was like, okay, you're getting a little bit from Tobias here. But I think the thing that's going to stick out in everyone's mind from that game is going to be that sequence of layups. Because you've seen it a number of times with him where it's just finish at the rim, man. Like, you use your size. You are that big. You can make those things happen. And you just that you expect it. And I think ultimately that and the fact that he wasn't out there to close out the game, it just lends itself to that closing lineup. And, Nick Nurse mentioned Kyle Lowry and the little things he does, the game-changing plays, the 2 or 3 that he's going to make down the stretch. Batum and Lowry just kind of lend themselves to those situations.
Where it said, watch 38-year-old Kyle Lowry on this defensive possession. I don't know where. I just saw it. And it was Lowry picking up full court. This was against the Heat the other night. So he picks up the guy at three-quarters court, comes all the way down. He's following his guy around, gets picked to the floor. So falls out of bounds, jumps up, doubles the ball. The guy that has the ball then throws it back to Lowry's guy. Then goes the ball off to the picker, and then he's doubling on the picker to a wing, and he runs out and closes out on a 3-point shot. It was like, oh, my God, I'm tired just describing it. 38-year-old Kyle Lowry's out there getting it done. Can we rely on those legs, Bill, to play you? I'll put it 2 ways. Are the Sixers not relying on him offensively all that much, so defense is where his legs have to be, or do you have to guard against him losing his legs defensively?
Well, this brings us back to what we were talking about earlier in the show, the 9 days to play 4 games.
Yeah, good point.
That's huge for Kyle Lowry. Huge. I talked about it, how it will help Joel. But a 38-year-old Kyle Lowry, I know I'm 40, man. I feel it. But I get that extra day rest. I'm feeling pretty good. It's the recovery time. I think he can go 30 minutes in 5 minutes in a game as long as he gets that recovery time in between games.
Right. And it's key for Nick Batum. He talked about it the other day. Like, I didn't want to play on Friday. I wanted to play Saturday because this body needs rest. Nick Batum's 35 years old. Joel Embiid's getting close to 30. Buddy Hield's 31. You have a that are there, and I think you brought up a great point that and keep bringing it up, that 4 games in 9 days, that's kind of a luxury, and you have to love it.
Now, talking about the series, too, I love that basketball. I don't necessarily agree with the bracket format that they don't reseed, but I love that they've kept the 2-2-1-1-1. I was talking to Ray about this yesterday. You see how baseball has switched to that 2-3-2 format? Right. I think for a 7-game series, I like the way it goes. And that's why I think the Sixers in 6 back at the Wells Fargo Center.
Oh, that's your pick. I didn't even ask for it. And Bill just gave it up here at 12:11 on a Friday afternoon. He said, there it is, Sixers in 6. I didn't ask the guys when they were in here. I had it on my sheet to maybe say, finish it up. Hey, let's give us your pick. I don't know why. I'm not big on
predictions.
For me, I love reading everybody else's. I'm glad you just gave yours. I read about 3 other predictions on the series today. I don't like giving it, so I think I was going to try to snake away from it. Just kind of quietly get out of this building
you're not
today
getting out of this building without giving one.
So let's talk about it with basketball, because sometimes I think in football, home field advantage can be over-exaggerated at times.
Okay.
How important is home court in basketball?
It's a great question. Is there importance to it? Sure. I mean, you love hearing the cheers for you and not for the other team, the momentum thing. But I do. I look at pro athletes, Bill, an awful lot of times, and I'm like, they've seen everything. Like, you were the best player in your high school, and you had a gym full of people booing you because they knew you were going to the biggest of colleges and probably going to be a pro. Does it get into those guys' minds? I don't think it does all that much.
Obviously, I didn't play at the pro level. Played in high school. I loved the booing. I loved performing at the away games. I mean, to me, that could be even more exciting. And more, so I don't know about home field but I just think in basketball, maybe it could help you when the crowd is so loud on defense, when you're trying to, go through your offensive plays and things like that. Maybe it helps, or maybe when you're at the foul line. But I just think we overvalue sometimes home field or home court.
Yeah, it's funny because I wish I could remember the player, but I remember doing a story one time on where do you get your self-motivation, because I was doing something like LeBron James. The biggest challenge to LeBron James is LeBron James. And they said that about Kobe Bryant, and they said that about Michael Jordan. Yes, you have opponents, but their biggest challenge was themselves. How do you self-motivate? You played high school ball and say, like, the place is packed all the time. Then you go, like I played junior college basketball, you play Division III football or whatever. Sometimes you're playing in front of your, girlfriend and two of her friends, and that's pretty much it. Or your parents or something like that. There's the self-motivation that comes within. And I remember talking to an NBA player about it, like, how much does the crowd mean? And they said, yeah, you love it when people are cheering for you. But at the end of the day, like, it's another basketball game, and it's one of the thousands that I've played that have been pretty important. But I don't know. I really don't know.
I'm looking at some winning percentages in the NBA in the playoffs over the last 10 years. And the problem is these numbers are skewed because the Golden State Warriors had an 800 winning percentage. Was that because they were playing at home, or was it because they were just that damn good?
Yeah, right. I mean, it's like somebody I was talking to. The Billy Lang, the coach at St. Joe's. I called him during the year when they had a really good win, and I texted him. I said, Billy, great job. This is all, it's fun to watch your team do this. He goes, yeah, it's amazing how much better of a coach I am when shots go in the basket, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty true. And you love to hear people talk like that. All right, Ernie has a thought from City Hall. Ernie, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's going on?
Hey, how you doing, Bob?
Good, buddy.
Caller, man.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'd like to have some beers with you one day.
Hey, I'm always up for beers.
We old school, I know. My question is this. Wouldn't Jaden Springer have been an asset in this series against, like, Jalen Brunson with his defense and his on-the-ball defense? What do you think of that?
Here's what I think. First off, Ernie, you may be the only person in the Delaware Valley entering this series, and the first name that you brought up was Jaden Springer.
Because I'm smarter than everybody else.
Attaboy, that's what I like to hear. I don't know. Look, you have a Ricky Council there who showed great athleticism and some really good things on the level of a Jaden Springer also. If the Sixers were going to get into a Jaden Springer, I think, Ernie, in playoff series or anything, it would have been a specialized thing. Like, I don't know.
But Nick Nurse likes, he stretches his bench, and he turns down no one. He's always using somebody as to try to get an advantage. I'm just saying.
Sure.
I mean, he's a. I guess I'm mad about that trade, and I'm mad about the Reddick trade also. So I'm just.
Well, we got to get you happy, Ernie. Be ready for tomorrow night. How about that?
All right, Bob.
All right, buddy. Thanks for the call. Really appreciate it.
So Ernie brings up Jaden Springer. I wouldn't be talking about Jaden right now, but I am going to be upset that in a couple of years, when he's a stud on the Boston Celtics, because you just know the way they develop players and how people play so well in Boston, that's going to hurt. What did we get, a second round back for him?
I have to go to my prediction that I made when the Sixers got rid of Jaden Springer and so many people were upset. You say a couple of years, he won't be in the league.
Wow. So Bob was okay with that trade.
Yeah, I God bless Jaden Springer. Good luck. I hope he is. I just don't think he has an NBA skill set that is going to keep him in the league.
I hope you're correct.
Not for him, I don't. I hope to God the kid makes it, and I hope he goes on for stardom. Nothing against the kid.
Just not with the Celtics.
That's right. My problem. Yeah, just not with the Celtics.
Someone else could develop him. It's interesting, that thought process, but I go to the other side of the ball with that. Like, you're thinking about Springer on Brunson. I'm thinking about Springer offensively in a playoff series. Like that to me, that's where Ernie loses. Like you can tell me all about the on-the-ball defense, but
Yeah, you see him throw up 2 air balls from 18 feet
Right.
in critical times.
yeah, that's like Tyrone mentioned the 4-on-5 that we saw when Simmons was here. Sometimes even Thibault on the floor at times. That's what immediately mine goes. You bring up Jaden Springer, great idea in theory defensively. Unfortunately, you have to go down the other end of the floor, and he has to give you something offensively, and that's just not happening.
It's the question I posed about Jaden Springer to an NBA person. Does he have an offensive NBA skill set? I couldn't get the question out quick enough before the guy said no. Might be able to give you something defensively, but how many guys do you know that stay in the league, 6'4" guards that stay in the league only because they can play decent defense? Doesn't happen an awful lot. People are looking for NBA skill sets, specifically offensively. I don't know if Jaden Springer has it or not. And like Bill said, you hope the guy he doesn't, or Ray, you said, hope the guy he doesn't have it for the Boston Celtics. So I find it funny that Ernie brought up, the first name he brought up for the series was a Jaden Springer. I would have bet money that we wouldn't have heard that. But
that shows you more the concern about Brunson than it does tell you anything about Jaden Springer.
yeah,
Because this is the mindset of someone like Ernie. I'm going to jump into his mind right here. It's not so much what he loves about Jaden Springer. He's like, you know what? Defense, perimeter defense, I need someone that's going to be able to slow down Brunson. I'm throwing everything in my brain at slowing down Jalen Brunson. If we had Springer, maybe that's a better answer than what we have defensively to answer to Brunson. I don't think so, but I think jumping into Ernie's mind, I think that's where that comes from. It's more concern about Brunson than it's love on Springer.
But can't this Sixers team still win this series even if Brunson's averaging 30 points a game?
yes.
I mean, I know we're worried about Brunson. He's the guy that needs to be slowed down because he's their one star on that team. But even if he's putting up 30 a game, as long as we shut down everybody else, I don't see anybody else that's going to be able to put up over 20 points a game for the New York
Consistently.
Knicks.
The issue, I think, with this is when we get into the numbers of like what he's doing, I think it's so much more like how he gets to those numbers. We can talk about him averaging 30 a game, but if he's averaging 30 a game where his impact early is, we got to flood him and he's getting everyone else open looks, everyone else is getting into rhythm because Brunson's able to really torch you early on, that's more of my concern. He could have 30 and, he had 30 and he was just the only thing going for them in that game. He could have 30 and his impact is what opens up everything else for everyone. And I think that's more my concern. I think it's where a lot of people's concern with Brunson is what does his scoring open up and what does that create for them? And that's why I'm throwing the kitchen sink at him because nobody else is opening up that offense the way he does. No one else in that team. They don't have that secondary option that opens it up the way he does.
We're talking about control of the game, right? And that's a subject. And Bill, I want to get to you on this after the break. The control of the game. As much as the 76ers need Joel Embiid, maybe the New York Knicks even need more from Jalen Brunson as far as controlling the game. We'll get into that when we get back. I want to tell you one thing. There's a Mother's Day giveaway that we have. All you have to do is head to 975thefanatic.com to enter for a chance to win $2,000 for Mom in the Mother's Day nationwide contest. It's sponsored by Pilates Florist. Make Mom's Mother's Day special with beautiful flowers from Pilates Florist. Now with 3 locations to serve you, visit Pilates, Polites, florist.com. When we get back, more about this Sixers-Knicks series. I have a question for Bill about the control ability of 2 players, one from each team. All that and a whole lot more. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers and Knicks starts this weekend. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by True Green. If you want a great-looking lawn, contact True Green today. All you have to do is water and mow. Sign up by April 20th to get 1 application free with an annual plan. Restrictions apply. The 76ers open up the first round of the NBA playoffs in New York against the Knicks, as the matchup with the Knicks this season has not been kind to them. It's a 1-3 record coming into this one, averaging under 87 points per game against them. And again, those numbers are a little bit skewed because of availability. Joel Embiid only played in 1 of the games against the Knicks this season. That was all the way back in January. And while the headlines, of course, will feature what Joel Embiid can do on the floor early on before this series has gotten started, it's his backup that's making waves with what he's saying off the floor. Paul Reed joined FanDuel TV and had this to say about the New York Knicks.
I feel like we ain't ducking no smoke, but yeah, we wanted the Knicks matchup. Of course, that's the easier. But, it's going to be fun. You know, we match up pretty well with them. They got a great guard.
That's the matchup you want. That's the matchup you got. Saturday at 6 o'clock, Game 1. You can listen to it live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Extended pregame for The Fanatic begins at 3 o'clock with Tyrone Johnson, Bob Cooney, and D. Lynam. Get you set for the series. Speaking of series, the Phillies open up one with the White Sox this weekend. Chicago's been bad. They're 3-15 this year. The Phillies got to pick up a couple wins this weekend. Games at 6:40 tonight. Spencer Turnbull on the mound for the Phils. I'm Ray Dunn. Breaking sports news all day, every day is here. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Round 1 of the NBA playoffs with the Knicks and 76ers. Tip-off Saturday at 6 with Tom McGinnis on the call. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, at FanDuel Casino, we know the only thing better than a win is a free win, and that's why they made Reward Machine. It's the daily free-to-play game that gives you a chance to win up to $2,000 in casino bonus. They've already given away over $100 million in free bonuses, and they're just getting started. Every day at 6 p.m., you get 3 chances to spin the Reward Machine reels, and there are 3 ways to win. 1, match any 3 symbols for an instant win. 2, collect symbols each day for a chance to win weekly prizes. Or 3, win up to $2,000 if you collect 3 trophies. FanDuel's given away over $100 million to hundreds of thousands of people through Reward Machine. So what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Casino app by going to FanDuel.com/Bob and start playing Reward Machine today. That's FanDuel.com/Bob. No purchase necessary, 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable casino-only site credit that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/casino. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG.
More time outside means more projects on the honey-do list, but fret not. Say goodbye to DIY headaches and hello to Preferred Pros. Whether it's indoors or out, let our reliable experts handle your home improvements while you focus on up your home today with Preferred Pros, your go-to for quality and reliable workmanship.
Bachman Solar. Solar is more affordable than you think. Receive federal tax credits and apply for 0% financing with Solar Solutions at bachmansroofing.com.
Metropolitan Veterinary Associates is proud to be the largest privately owned hospital in our region, offering specialty care for your dogs and cats 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Generac is the name you can trust for automatic standby home generators. And Advanced Electrical Services Group provides sales and service to match. Go to advancedesg.com for your free estimate.
Check out Preferred Pros today. This paid program is sponsored by businesses highly rated by actual customers. For more details, visit 975thefanatic.com.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Febreze. So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Hey, it's Ricky Bo for my friends at Mandrakia Law. If you or a family member has been seriously injured in an accident or a fall, call 610-584-0700 for Mandrakia Law, the MVP of personal injury law with a batting average of relentless representation and a Grand Slam track record of winning. They're the heavy hitters you need in your lineup. When you need legal help, you need aggressive attorneys who will get results. You need Mandrakia Law. Go to mmattorneys.com or call 610-584-0700 and let's knock your case out of the park.
I love a beautiful lawn. I hate doing lawn care. That's why I use True Green. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. And we all know those are some nice greens. So just imagine what they can do for your lawn. All you have to do is water and mow. And to top it off, when you sign up for an annual plan by April 20th, get one application free. Visit truegreen.com for the best lawn at the best price, guaranteed. Restrictions apply.
And now Martha Stewart for Skechers. When I make a dish or embark on a craft project, I always use the finest, most fabulous ingredients and materials. Which is why, when it comes to footwear, I love Skechers. Because Skechers is the comfort technology company and uses the most luxurious, innovative materials and designs to make wondrously comfortable footwear with all the fits and features like Arch Fit and Skechers' world-famous air-cooled memory foam. It's exactly the way I'd make shoes.
Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
This week at Acme, don't miss the digital deal for Signature Select Frozen Pizza for just $2.99 each. Clip this deal and unlock hundreds more when you sign up for Acme For You. Visit acmemarkets.com/4u or download the Acme mobile app to sign up and save today.
This week at Acme, get a value pack of Signature Farms drumsticks, thighs, or legs for just $1.29 per pound. Hurry in now or download the Acme mobile app to shop any way you want, in-store, delivery, or to drive up and go. Acme, fresh foods, local flavors.
Business. It's all the things that keep this world turning. And behind every one of these companies is a partner helping to keep it all moving. It's why the local flower shop and your favorite pizza joint, the startup and the stadium, hospitals and hotels, banks and restaurants nationwide all choose the advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and round-the-clock trusted partnership from Comcast Business, the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Restrictions apply. Call or visit ComcastBusiness.com to learn more.
97.5 The Fanatic wants you to secure the bag with 97.5 The Fanatic's signing bonus. It's your chance to win $1,000 5 times a day, every weekday at 3 p.m. and listen for the keyword, then enter it at 975thefanatic.com via the Fanatic app or text it to 45911 for your chance to win $1,000. Complete details and official rules at 975thefanatic.com. Presented by Rand Spear, the accident lawyer. Demand Rand for justice. And 97.5 The Fanatic, Philadelphia.
This is Philadelphia's sports station for breaking news. Now, more with Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Welcome back, or thanks for joining us. 12:30 here, middays. Bob Cooney, joined by Bill Colarulo today. Of course, we have Ray Dunn producing. Ray is nursing some soreness and injuries off of a little round third base fall down accident he had last night for his softball team. The team, in spite of Ray, however, did win the game. I was told one of his teammates got in touch with me. They said they were all still laughing. They laughed their way through a 12-3 win, which was cool. He said that Ray had nothing to do with the win except provide the laughter. So, Ray, if you have to contribute in some way, you can't always be a star athlete like Bill, like myself. Sometimes you have to be the guy that provides the
vibesman. That's what I'm here to do.
That's what you
never
are.
had any delusions of being a star athlete. That has never once crossed my mind. When you dreamed of hitting a game-winning bucket, I dreamed of celebrating afterwards.
I'm proud of you. Yeah, you were that guy that would jump on us after we made.
That's
the big
why
play. Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense. Remember a couple weeks ago, you asked the question, if you could have any job, what would it be? I said I wanted to be Howie Roseman. I wanted to be a general manager.
That's right. I forgot about that.
What was Ray's? He wanted to be a backup quarterback, wasn't it? Wasn't that what it was?
Something lazy.
It was the laziness. Backup catcher to JT Realmuto is a pretty good one.
That's not bad at all. Garrett Stubbs, you get to party your ass off.
Yeah, I would love that role. So, yeah, those are more the things that I aspire to.
It's funny you just brought up catcher, Bill, because I was thinking about this the other day when Realmuto took one off the throat, recovers from that, and then 2 days later takes a 95-mile-an-hour heater off the wrist. You know, you played football and all, so you know what getting banged up is. I can't imagine the bumps and bruises that a professional catcher has during the season, after the season. That's got to be one of the toughest positions in all sports.
Well, it's definitely the toughest position in baseball. Because baseball has no physicality.
No.
Really. Unless you're who was the pitcher? I'm forgetting now. Was it Hoffman that just rushed the plate and made that great play?
Oh, my God. Yeah, it was Hoffman.
Freeland.
Yeah.
So that was – usually you don't get those type of collisions. in baseball. So, yeah, definitely the toughest in baseball. But, I mean, you look at football and ice hockey, these guys are taking a beating every single game.
I still can close my eyes and see a certain former NBA player talking to him and stuff and him taking off his sneakers and me seeing his feet and just going, oh, my God. And he, at the time, was like a 10-year veteran in the NBA. So you're talking, he also played college ball, high school. He's like, yeah, you know how much I've run in my life? You know how much damage these feet have taken? So it's hard to even imagine.
On hardwood, too.
Yeah, right? Exactly. All right, Bill, I'm going to throw a number out there to you. 2 numbers out there to you, actually. And tell me which one means more. One number is 31-8. The other number is 20-3.
I know what those represent.
You do. And those numbers represent, in the 39 games that Joel Embiid has played this year, the Sixers are 31-8. OG Anunoby has played 23 games with the New York Knicks. I struggled there.
Yeah, you're all right.
Anunoby. Yeah, sorry. And they have gone 20-3 in the games that he's played. What is more telling to you as far as those 2 numbers go? Or do they not mean anything?
I think they definitely mean something.
Yeah,
I think they definitely mean something. But, yeah, we talk about in Philly how much better this Sixers team is with Joel. But when you throw out those numbers for OG, the Knicks are really good with him in the lineup. But I think the more important number, and this isn't just me being a homer here, is the 31-8 with Joel Embiid. Because you look at what Joel is on the court, and no disrespect to OG, he's not Joel Embiid.
No.
Nobody is. So that's why I say the 31-8 is the more important number. And if he can do what we've seen him do in the regular season, I know it's tougher in the playoffs, but if he can be the guy, and the guy we saw in the fourth quarter against the Miami Heat, that's why the Sixers will win this series.
So let me ask you something, and this popped into my head when we had everybody in the studio, and I wanted to save it to ask to you specifically about this series. I'm sorry, about tomorrow night more than this series. Tomorrow night, I'm asking you, Bill, if you had this question and posed it to yourself. I need to see this early on from the 76ers. What would it be?
It's an interesting question. What we would need to see early.
Because a lot of times I'll go into games, Bill, and you say, all right, you need Embiid to dominate this game. Okay. You need Maxey to hit shots. Okay. A lot of times I'll go a little deeper, and I'll be like, all right, in the first 10 possessions, I need the Sixers to get 8 good shots. I didn't say make. I didn't say lead. I didn't say anything like that. In 10 possessions, I need to see 8 good shots. Like, that's how I'll look at games sometimes.
So, for me, it's not necessarily statistical. I want to see them be more decisive. I felt like in the first half against the Heat, they were tentative. They turned the ball over. They didn't look like they were sure of themselves. So I just want to see them be more decisive in the beginning of the game.
How about you, Ray? If you were to say to yourself tomorrow night when I start, I'm sorry, did I catch you mid sandwich?
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I was just cleaning off my hands.
If you had to, tomorrow night, game's about to start. You're sitting whatever bar you are in or wherever you're going to watch the game, and you say, I got to see this early from the Sixers. Do you have something definitive in mind that would be?
I'm thinking it's going to be something defensively on Brunson. I think I just would like to see a concentrated plan of attack. I really just want to see in the opening minutes the way they're going to go about doing it. Is it going to be Batum, going that length of the floor? Is it going to be him trying to take it there? Are they going to give me the physicality of Lowry? Are they going to really just throw a lot of different looks at him early on? Or is it going to be something where I have to see, do they just open up with one guy on him, really trying to take the lion's share of guarding Brunson? I think that's what I want to see, the orchestrated plan of attack early on from them. It might not be necessarily whether it works or whether it doesn't, but what I need to see from them is what that orchestrated plan of attack is early. And I think all of the adjustments for the Knicks play off of that. And then I can really see how this series is going to open up and how they're going to, again, try and slow down what is just such a crafty guard.
Yeah, mine's similar to yours. I need to see early on that it's tough for Jalen Brunson to get where he wants to go. I need him to throw a pass from 25 feet away from the basket as opposed to getting to 18 feet from the basket and then making the ultimate pass he wants to do. I had a high school coach at, the good defense is if a guy wants to make a pass from 15 feet away to somebody else, make it 20 feet away. Make it longer. Make it tougher. I want to see the Sixers defense make the Knicks offense have to really work for shots early on tomorrow night. That tells me that, okay, Jalen Brunson isn't getting exactly where he wants to go all the time. He's not getting the ball to teammates exactly where they want it all the time. That's what I'd like to see early on tomorrow night.
Now, we keep asking the question, or I saw they asked it on the morning show. We talked about this before the playing game as to outside of Maxey and Embiid, who needs to be that X factor for the 76ers? Well, when you look at the New York Knicks, outside of Jalen Brunson, who needs to be their X factor? Is it OG? Is it somebody else? Is it Josh Hart? Is it one of these DiVincenzo, one of these Villanova guys? Who do you think needs to be that X factor for the Knicks to win this series?
It's a great question because do we know if they have somebody that can be that? I mean, if Dante DiVincenzo is going off tomorrow night against the Sixers and he's hitting threes and all of that, the way his game is, it's probably a lot of it's going to be set up by Jalen Brunson, right? Yeah. Josh Hart, yeah, he can go. He had a triple-double against the Sixers. He can get you 20 points. He's a 9-point-a-night guy. He can get you those points and those things, but it also has to be helped. My thing with this is you can't get – I don't think they have that, Bill. I don't think they have that second guy. What I will say is I think they have a lot of guys that can be that second guy, like I just explained it. Is DiVincenzo getting open looks and hitting threes left and right? Is Josh Hart, for some reason, going for 18, 10, and 11? Like, those things can't happen. The little things, the intricacies of the game, those things can't happen in my mind. Whether it does or not, it'll play a big part in how the Sixers come out of tomorrow night. Mitch in Phoenix wants to talk about the matchup. Mitch, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, what could Mitch in Phoenix know? He's 3,000 miles away from Madison Square Garden, right?
That's all right.
Now, have you guys actually watched the Knicks this year?
Yeah.
Tell the truth. How many games would you say you watched?
I don't know, handful, 7, 8, something like that. Well, more, because they played the Sixers 4 times, and then they've been on national TV quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I've watched them quite a bit because I get a kick out of watching the Villanova boys. I'm a big Villanova fan. I can't stand when you say they're not near Philadelphia or they're not part of Philadelphia. They are. I mean, let's face it. How long does it take to go from the actual Philadelphia map to where Villanova is?
Yeah, you might have heard that on that station. I've never said that I didn't think Villanova was part of the Philadelphia basketball scene.
Yeah, I've heard it from different people. But that's neither here nor there. I'm going to try to answer some of your questions. In regards to how do you say it, Oganobi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anunoby.
What is he, a forward?
Yeah.
Okay. What forward on the 76ers is as good as him?
Well, I mean, you're going to have to try to match up, and thanks, Mitch. You're going to have to try to match up, I don't know, Kelly Oubre to match numbers against Anunoby. Anunoby's a really good defender. So that's a key that you have to watch, I think, Bill, is if Nick Batum is playing well, you can't expect Nick Batum to do what he did the other night. That was great what he did. Maybe somebody else picks it up on another night and has that kind of game. But if Kelly Oubre is going off, Anunoby's going to be grabbing him. If Nick Batum starts to have another game, Anunoby's going to be on him. He is a really, really good defender. I think that's the side of the game where you have to watch him as opposed so much to the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and Anunoby's never going to be on Joel, I wouldn't think, right? It's going to be Robinson or Hartenstein that'll be trying to guard Joel.
Yeah, and you might get an Anunoby digging down on him, doubling him. He's a good enough athlete that he can leave his man, go to it, and get back. So I assume you'll see hands from Anunoby on Embiid at times. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I thought it was interesting that Hartenstein spoke, I think it was yesterday, and talked about how Joel's going to be looking for his fouls.
I did see that, yeah.
That's a narrative that always frustrates me, though. It's if you could guard the man, you wouldn't have to foul him. I don't understand why people try to use the fact that Joel goes to the free throw line a lot as a negative. You can't guard him.
Yeah. I understand it a little bit. Like, put yourself in, I don't know, Boston's, Knicks, somebody else's shoes, and watch the drama of Joel Embiid getting fouls all the time. I can kind of understand it, right, Bill?
Yeah, when he does those rip-throughs for the shots and then he throws his arms up in the air. But, look, it's be in a better position. I mean, that's what I'd say, is be in a better position so he can't do that.
Right. He is very, very good at drawing fouls. Embiid is. And if they're not going to call it, okay, I'll take his physicality against the guys you just mentioned that are going to try to cover him. And I think you'll have an advantage there if you're the 76ers. All right, we are going to take a break right now real quick. When we get back, if we have it, or maybe at the top of the hour, the Flyers brass did talk today. And I know it's a Sixers Friday, and I'm not deterred from going away from that all that much. But I do think it's interesting. We're going to look through what John Tortorella had to say this morning, because I told you before, I'm really interested in his self-evaluation. And we'll see if there's something to show you or share with you, I should say, on that. Also, a whole lot more Sixers talk as we get back here middays. Bill Colarulo with us today. Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now, a 76ers playoff update on 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Sixers and Knicks starts on Saturday. I'm Ray Dunn. The 76ers playoff update is brought to you by Michelob Ultra. When you don't compromise on the court, you shouldn't compromise off of it either. Lose the calories, not the taste. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Game 1 is Saturday night at 6 o'clock. You can hear the game between the 76ers and the Knicks live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. We'll have an extended pregame for you with Tyrone Johnson, Bob Cooney, and D. Lynam starting at 3 o'clock. They'll be breaking down an interesting series in which the 76ers enter as the 7th seed, but the betting favorites to win the series. This Knicks team has made the leap to the top of the Eastern Conference thanks to Jalen Brunson's leap to stardom, some strong defense, and a cohesive supporting cast. Nick Nurse talked about the growth of this Knicks team earlier this week.
I think they're for real. I think they're really good. I think they've earned that seed. They've played really well and beaten a lot of good teams. So we'll have our work to do here in the next couple of days to get ready for them.
How will Embiid look? Who is the coaching advantage between Thibodeau and Nurse? Which supporting cast gives you the most? All those questions begin to be answered on Saturday at 6 o'clock live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for all you need to know about the 76ers playoff run. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Devontae Smith signs an extension with the Eagles.
Being a team, it starts with your relationship with each other. I think that's a big part. Having guys that have a good relationship with each other, guys that are familiar with each other, so everybody is comfortable pushing each other to the limits that are uncomfortable.
You heard his press conference live.
Nothing that fans say or things like that can actually get to me. I embrace it because it just shows that the fans love it. They live and breathe, feel it.
Philadelphia sports station for breaking news. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hey, the NBA play-in tournament, it gives teams the chance to play their way into the postseason. We just saw it the other night with the Sixers. So it only seems right that new customers on FanDuel, in partnership with Valley Forge, can play their way into $150. All you have to do is place any $5 bet, and you'll get $150 in bonus bets, whether you win or lose. And you can use that during the NBA playoffs. So many different things you can do. Everybody's looking at the point spreads of all the different games that you have going on. You can look at over-unders for the full game, money line. Go to individual players. You might pick points, rebounds, assists, or you could lump all them together to pick an over-under. All you have to do is go to FanDuel.com/Bob. That's FanDuel.com/Bob to get it all started. 21 plus and present in Pennsylvania. First online, real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Spring savings are here at Barlow Buick GMC of Woodbury. So get the car, truck, or SUV that's perfect for you. Receive huge savings and low financing options on most vehicles in stock. Plus, check out their huge selection of popular vehicles like the GMC Sierra or the all-new Buick Envista. At Barlow, the buying experience is always easy and hassle-free. For honest prices and dedicated service, visit Barlow Buick GMC in Woodbury or online at barlowautogroup.com. Experience the new Buick GMC. We are professional grade.
Presenting Again Fling's love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
This is Jordan Lundy.
And I'm Len Lundy of Lundy Law. For over 70 years, our family has been dedicated to fighting for injured people.
Remember our name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers.
Visit LundyLaw.com.
Remarkable change begins with daring to be different. Baby, I'm on a mission with Boost Mobile to putting the latest phones in the hands of more people. Introducing the Signature Coach Prime Razor, only from Boost Mobile. Rush to your nearest Boost Mobile retailer and get your Signature Coach Prime Razor on us. Get after it.
Limited time discount available online only while supplies last. Taxes extra. New customers only. Must activate the device within 30 days to avoid paying full price. Offer subject to change.
This is Philadelphia's station for breaking sports news. Powered by Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com.
That's LundyLaw.com.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Coming up at 2, the best show ever with Tyrone Johnson, Ricky Batalico, and Jen Scordo. Right now, it's Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Welcome back, middays. As we approach the 1 o'clock hour, Bill Colarulo is here with us for most of the day. I don't know. They snaked him out for an hour. I didn't like that, Bill. I fought for you. I had signs. Ray and I were walking around with picket signs, keep Bill, but there just wasn't enough chairs in here as we did the, what did we call it?
Talk Stars.
Talk Stars, yeah.
Talk Stars.
We have to talk to the bosses about that because I don't know.
I was told I was just an all-star. That's why I couldn't.
Oh.
Dylan and I were saying in here we were the silent stars.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You are the silent star, no question. All right, I said to you earlier, and we just want to hit on it for a little bit because I think it is a little bit interesting. We know it's a full Sixers day today, and next week is going to be cool with the balance of Sixers and the NFL draft, and we're going to be here for you for all of that. But John Tortorella did speak today, and I think Danny Briere did also, but I just wanted to hit on some of the stuff Tortorella said because what was interesting to me, this whole season has been interesting to me. I've looked at it in a different way. And it's mostly been concerning the coach. And I was anxious to see what he thought of his self-evaluation when it came to him. And sure enough, he did address that today.
I've done a lot of thinking as far as what could I have done better here? Was that right? Yeah, that worked. All that goes through your head. I've been going through that for the past couple of days because it's just fresh off of a game that was a crazy game, a crazy ending to the season, so close, but then we're done very quickly. So that's constant for me. It's a game of mistakes for the players. It's a game of mistakes for coaches. I've made some mistakes this year, not the ones you may think I did, some of the ones that you have no clue what I did or have any thoughts on it. There are other things that go on that you're not privy to and you're not supposed to be.
Don't mind that at all, Bill. Okay. He went on. We have a cut there, so we'll go to that in a second. But just as far as he said there, I think that's a coach being pretty open and honest. You don't like it. I can tell by the look on your face.
I've been so torn on Tortorella all season because I didn't have expectations for this team. I didn't. And the way they came out in the beginning of the season, I was extremely impressed with the job that Tortorella was doing. And they showed that they were a better team than anybody thought that they would be. But what I didn't like about what Tortorella did, and it doesn't seem like he's necessarily owning up to it, and I don't know if it's in the next clip either, but when he benched Sean Couturier as captain, when he called them an embarrassment to the sweater, when he was doing things where he was basically challenging their manhood, to me was if they were a team that was simply overperforming and they weren't talented enough, why are you telling them they're an embarrassment? And then less than a week later, switched gears and said, well, guys are pressing. We got to stay positive. Well, why do you think they were pressing? How do you stay positive when their coach just told them they were an embarrassment, when their coach just benched their captain from what Couturier said after the fact? He didn't know why he was being benched. I thought that Tortorella made some mistakes down the stretch. I don't want to be overly critical because they did have a good season, quote unquote, but it was a huge disappointment down the stretch, and I think Tortorella pushed the wrong buttons.
He talked about that, specifically the Sean Couturier situation, and this isn't surprising to me, but maybe some people will think it is.
No, let me ask you a question. Why wouldn't I communicate with Sean if I'm taking him out of the lineup? Did you think to ask yourself that? Why wouldn't I? I did. I'm not going to tell you what was said. I sat with Sean. I'm not going to tell you what I said. We had a discussion about why he's coming out because I didn't want to see him come to the board 8 o'clock in the morning and see that he's out. Because I read some of your stuff with this. I know you beat the drum with it. Why would I want to disrespect him that way? Did you ask yourself that?
It's interesting. I say this all the time, and Bill, you know this, being around the Eagles as often as you were and all that. This isn't high school. This isn't college. Coaches don't make a play, make a move like that Sean Couturier thing without communicating. I never, ever thought that. It would amaze me, shock me, when a coach made a big move like that they don't talk to the player first. After all, everybody's adults in the room. Yes, coach has final say. I understand that. But I have never been around a team where a coach didn't make a big move. Player could disagree with it, but he talked to the player. Wouldn't it have surprised you, or how would it have surprised you if he came out and said, no, I made the decision. I didn't have to tell Couturier. I just made it.
So I guess what we're never going to know what was said. I'm sure he told Couturier that you're not going to be in the lineup, but then why would Sean Couturier, when asked, say, I don't know. I know just as much as you know. So did he express to him, look, you're sitting down tonight? Probably. Did he explain why he was sitting down? Who do you believe, Couturier or Tortorella?
Yeah. And I'm being honest here. I would be shocked of all the coaches that I've been around, and, you know, you've been around many too. They're adults, and coaches get good play, get the most out of professional players by treating them as such. I've always felt. Yeah, are there more hard-ass coaches? Are there others that are hard-ass coaches that demand things? And, yeah, it's a way of going about it. But at the end of the day, at least my experience, coaches know that they're dealing with adults. And I don't care if you're 20 or 35. There is a communication factor that it would have shocked me if he's not telling the truth, that there wasn't some sort of communication.
I know we're up against it, but for me, I just felt like this could have been so easily corrected to not cause a big scene about benching one of your longest tenured players, a guy who's always given it his all with the Flyers organization, and Sean Couturier. They could have easily said, we're sitting Couturier down. He's still working back from that back injury. He missed a lot of time over the last 2 seasons. We want to rest him for a couple of games so he could be ready down the stretch of the season. That would have quieted everybody.
Yeah.
But that's not what was done. That wasn't the way it was handled. And then because Tortorella refused to talk about it, Couturier was asked. He says, I don't know. And now we have to talk about it. We have to address, well, was this an issue down the stretch? And it didn't work. The team did not respond to that. They didn't respond to being called an embarrassment. They didn't respond to being told they don't have a clue how to play. He pushed the wrong buttons.
Yeah, so, all right, there's your little Flyers giddy up here as we react to John Tortorella talking to the masses today. And kind of a little call out against a media person, which is, you know, it's par for the course. But when we get back, we'll get back to the Sixers. We want you to join us, 610-632-0975. Would love to hear what you think. Where is your confidence? We're going to open up the whole 1 o'clock hour to you. Want to hear what you have to say about this series. Where's your confidence? Where does it lack? All of those things. This is Midday Shows. Bill Collarula is with us. Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers Knicks starts this weekend. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by True Green. If you want a great-looking lawn, contact True Green today. All you have to do is water and mow. Sign up by April 20th to get one application free with an annual plan. Restrictions apply. The 76ers open up the first round of the NBA playoffs up in New York against the Knicks. The matchup has not been kind to them this regular season. 1-3 against them, averaging under 87 points per game against them. Now, once you go past the numbers, you look at some availability concerns with the 76ers in those matchups. Joel Embiid only played in one of them all the way back in January. They're missing Tyrese Maxey in another one. It has been an interesting back and forth. Two teams getting a chance to battle it out in this first round, and the conversation's already picking up with Paul Reed making waves on Thursday, talking about the matchup with the Knicks.
I feel like we ain't ducking no smoke, but yeah, we wanted the Knicks matchup. Of course, that's the easier team, I guess. But, it's going to be fun. We match up pretty well with them. They got a great guard.
We'll get to see that matchup Saturday at 6 o'clock for Game 1. You can listen to it live right here on The Fanatic. Also right here on The Fanatic, an extended pregame show with Tyrone Johnson, Bob Cooney, and D. Lynham starting at 3 o'clock. The Phillies open up a series with the White Sox tonight at 6:40 with Spencer Turnbull on the mound. The White Sox have been bad this season. 3-15 on the year, worst offensive team in Major League Baseball. Time to pick up some wins for the Phils. I'm Ray Dunn. Breaking sports news all day, every day is here. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
We are talking sports with you all day, every day. You can call our shows at 610-632-0975. You can text us 610-632-0975. Get in on the conversation. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Business. It's all the things that keep this world turning. And behind every one of these companies is a partner helping to keep it all moving. It's why the local flower shop and your favorite pizza joint, the startup and the stadium, hospitals and hotels, banks and restaurants nationwide all choose the advanced network, cybersecurity solutions, and round-the-clock trusted partnership from Comcast Business, the company that powers more businesses than anyone else. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Choose to partner with Comcast Business to get the fast, reliable internet you need to power your business. Sign up for a gig speed bundle today and get an $800 prepaid card. Call 1-800-501-6000 or go online to ComcastBusiness.com to switch today. Ends 5/6/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with Gigabit Extra Internet, Security Edge, One Voice Line, and Connection Pro or Wi-Fi Pro with 2-year agreement. Call for details.
More time outside means more projects on the honey-do list, but fret not. Say goodbye to DIY headaches and hello to Preferred Pros. Whether it's indoors or out, let our reliable experts handle your home improvements while you focus on fun. Spruce up your home today with Preferred Pros, your go-to for quality and reliable workmanship.
Gerhardt's Appliances. At Gerhardt's Appliances, you can design your dream kitchen on any budget. Shop local and save big at Gerhardt's. Find a local showroom or shop online at gerhards.com.
Volpe Enterprises. Say goodbye to roof leaks and hello to peace of mind. Call Volpe Enterprises now at 855-GO-VOLPE or visit online at govolpe.com.
No time for spring cleaning? Let the pros at J-Dog haul out the junk in your garage and clutter in the yard. Go to JDogJunkRemovalRDSC.com and reclaim your weekends.
Check out Preferred Pros today. This paid program is sponsored by businesses highly rated by actual customers. For more details, visit 975thefanatic.com.
Hey, it's John Kincade, and baseball is back, and I love wagering on golf. I love the BetParx app. It's simple, it's easy to use, and if you're a new customer, your first winning $10 sports bet is going to get you $125 in sportsbook bonus back. BetParx.com has all the terms and conditions. Start your account up today. You got to be 21 in Pennsylvania, Jersey, Ohio, or Maryland. You'll love to play, and you play to win. So if you bet, BetParx. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All HVAC systems are not created equal. Whether you need to add air conditioning or replace your existing system, there isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. The size and age of your home, whether or not it has ductwork, load calculations, all of these factors need to be considered. At Unique Indoor Comfort, an Ace Hardware company, our trained technicians will assess everything to create a custom solution that fits your home and budget. Schedule your free consultation today at uniqueheatingandcooling.com.
When breaking sports news happens in Philly, we have you covered. Live updates, press conferences, insight, perspective, and your reaction. This is 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. WPEN and WPEN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com. This is Philadelphia's sports station for breaking news. Now, more with Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Welcome back, 1 o'clock hour here, middays, as we were short Bill Colarulo there for a second because he couldn't find the kitchen.
I found it.
Free food in the kitchen. Bill's like, free food, free food. He's on his way out.
We got barbecue here today.
So, yeah, I know. It smelled delicious over there. But Ray says to me before you got back, he goes, Bill's getting something to eat, but he couldn't find the kitchen. I was like, so what? Let him take his time. It's all good, as long as you get your food. Good stuff there?
Yeah, it is pretty good, but now I just realized, how am I supposed to eat it? We're on the air for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah, we need callers. 610. 610. But in all seriousness, we do want to hear from you. Where is your confidence level right now when it comes to this Sixers-New York Knicks series? We've been talking about it all day long. We have another hour to get into it. We had the talk with everybody in here from all of the shows. Please don't say it. And a lot of good stuff going on there. Head of the snake was a subject that we brought up for the New York Knicks. We know that it's Jalen Brunson. You take that away. You take that head of the snake away. I don't know how this New York, and Bill brought it up earlier, how this New York Knicks team would beat you. Bill threw out his thoughts. Sixers in 6. They win it back here at the Wells Fargo Center. Bill, I put this out there earlier, and for those that didn't hear it, if you had one word to describe the series, I want to hear from all of you. 610-632-0975. I want your analysis of the series. Then I want this. Your one word that you think is going to describe this series. And, Bill, for those who didn't hear it earlier, let us know what yours is and why.
Physical. I think it's going to be a very physical matchup between these players. I think the way that the Thibodeau teams play, they do play very tight defense. I think it'll be just a true New York, Philly fight, something we haven't seen since, what, the 90s, I think, was the last time they were in the playoffs against each other? I think we're going back a while.
Was it late 80s or 90s? Something like that, yeah. I read it earlier today.
Ray usually knows these stats.
Nah, he's all into his sandwich.
I'm actually on the text line right now. Sorry. I'm trying to see what we had in terms of the text line.
I think your word is a very good one, Bill.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a physical matchup. That's why can Joel hold up? Can Joel hold up in a 7-game series? We've talked about the fact that it's really stretched out will help the days in between some of these games. But it's going to be a battle. I don't think this is going to be an easy matchup. That's why last week when you and I were talking about it, we said which team outside of the Boston Celtics did we want to see the least? And it was the Knicks. We didn't want to see this team.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be a really tough series. I think it's one – I don't want to call it ugly as a whole. I think there are going to be a lot of ugly moments, it'll look like not good basketball, and sometimes that's what you want. Like Tom Thibodeau probably wants to look at that Sixers team at times and say, man, we're making them look ugly, they're making us look ugly, but it's a close game. I think that's something that we're going to see more than enough of, because I don't love ugly basketball, Bill. I'm sure you don't either, and everybody out there listening, nobody likes ugly basketball unless you're the team that has to make the other team play ugly in order to win the game. Is that something you think the New York Knicks have to do? Make the Sixers look ugly in order to come away with a series win?
They probably do. When you look at some of those games that we've played against them this season, I know Joel wasn't in for 3 out of the 4, but 79 points in back-to-back games, that was pretty ugly.
Yeah, that. So the one game the Sixers win against the New York Knicks this year, it was 15-15 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, ugly.
At halftime, it was the lowest scoring game in the NBA that the NBA had seen in 5 years. The 73 points that the Knicks scored were the lowest point total in so many years. That was an ugly, ugly game. You almost have to take that out of it. But a couple of numbers that I threw out there earlier in the Knicks-Sixers series, first and foremost, Joel Embiid didn't play in 3 of the 4 games. So that's the first thing you have to say. The one game he did play in, was the game at the beginning of the year, the first time they faced each other in January. The Knicks rolled the Sixers by 128-92. They went 18 for 41 on threes. They scored 75 points in the first half, Bill. 75. That's just ridiculous. To build a 20-point lead there. Joel Embiid went for 30 and 10, but it was one of those games where he was in that streak of going for 30 and 10, and they kept him in there to get that, which at the time people were kind of like, really? That's what you're playing for in a 28-8 36-point loss? Jalen Brunson went for 29 points. Tyrese Maxey had 27. Sixers only shot 41%. It was an ugly, ugly game. You mentioned the second time they faced each other at home, the Sixers also lost 110-96. Embiid wasn't there. Brunson went for 21 and 12. Bogdanovich came off the bench, went 6 for 6 from 3, had 22 points. No Embiid yet. Maxey had 32. Lowry made his debut that night. The Knicks were 15 for 34 from 3. Then you had the back-to-back 79-point games. The Sixers won the first one, 79-73, in what can only be labeled as ugly. And then the next one, the Knicks crunched the Knicks. These were back-to-back games up in New York. The Knicks won 106-79. Josh Hart had a triple-double. Brunson went for 20. No Embiid yet again. Sixers were down 59-41 at the half. All these numbers put together, there's two things. One, Bill, average score of the games, 104-86.5. Not good. The one that I don't like, and yes, we can't forget that Joel Embiid wasn't there. The Knicks out-rebounded the Sixers by average in those 4 games, 57-42. Don't like that a little bit. But no Joel Embiid, we have to remember.
Yeah, it was only one game you said he played, and it was a blowout, though, by the Knicks, right?
Yeah, they lost by 36.
And I think Hartenstein did a decent job on Joel. So, look, the playoffs are different, though. I mean, we say that every year as a negative as Sixers fans. When they do well in the regular season, it's always, well, do it in the playoffs. So I know we're looking at the head-to-head matchups from the regular season. Well, let's see what happens in the playoffs when it's a different game, when everybody's going to elevate their game. And I just keep going back to it's a different Sixers team, because even in those head-to-head matchups against the Knicks in the regular season, even though Joel played in the one game, we really never saw this particular roster together.
You're right.
So I'm trying not to have the post-traumatic stress, the being jaded from previous playoff seasons, because this is a different team, different coach, different lineup. I think they're going to be okay. It's not going to be easy, but I think at the end of the day, they're going to figure out a way to beat this Knicks team.
Here's hoping. Uncle Frank is on the cell and ready to go. Uncle Frank, how are you today, buddy?
As I'm backing into a parking spot. Happy Friday, squad. How's everybody?
Happy Friday, buddy. We're all great. How about you?
Fantastic.
Attaboy.
Yep. All right, so what do you want to know? Ask me anything. So I have two concerns. JoJo's game shape concerns me. Brunson will be a tough matchup for us. Bobby, who gets that assignment?
Well, we were talking about it earlier, Uncle Frank, and we were saying it might be a plethora of things. Maybe you start Lowry on him. Maybe at times because of his fresher legs, maybe you throw Maxey on him too. But I'm also of the belief that in a half court, you might try to smother him with height a little bit, and that means an Oubre. That means maybe a Nick Batum.
Right. I think we throw guys at him. Otherwise, I like the Sixers. I think it's done in 5 or 6. Of course, it'd be nice to see the Rumble cookie,
Yeah, he needs to show up a little bit. All right, Frank. I asked everybody this, and I want you to do it as you're closing. What's the one word you think is going to describe this series?
Well, look, they're going to come at us, obviously. So, how about a brawl?
Brawl. Uncle Frank, I appreciate you. Hope you have a great, great weekend, buddy. Thank you so much. Brawl. I'm not in love with that word. I don't know. It's all right.
Yeah, all right. It's a decent word from a decent call. We said.
This is my fault.
No.
And I'm basically, I want to tell Uncle Frank this is my fault. It's like yesterday. My buddy comes to cut my lawn. It's a friend of mine. He has his own landscaping business. I get out of the car, and, he's pissed at me and cursing at me. I'm like, what's the matter? He goes, dude, you let the lawn go too long. It's going to take me forever. And I felt horrible. He was absolutely right. I was in the wrong. Uncle Frank, I was just in the wrong with you, dude.
Stop it.
I was. Because
No.
asking Uncle Frank to give us one word, are you kidding me? It's like asking Andrew to eat one hot dog on Dollar Dog Night. It ain't happening.
Yeah, I understand, but also, come on, Uncle Frank. Listen, this is a big year for you, proving that 2023 wasn't just a fluke. We want to see big things out of you. I commended him earlier this week with a top 3 Uncle Frank call of all time. I said we had it. It was either Tuesday or Wednesday when he called it.
We're getting there.
I got to say that one felt like a little bit of a step back.
It was. I
mean, again, he was great. Tuesday and Wednesday.
He was doing good.
It was just a little lesser this time around. I'm a little disappointed. I think the word felt really forced there from him. I didn't love the flow from him today. If I'm going to be honest with you, Uncle Frank, I think you've got better days ahead next week. I'm hoping that the Sixers come out a little bit stronger than you did in that call.
He's got to be better.
Talking about coming out strong, did you see what happened when the general manager for the Jaguars, Trent Baalke, met with the media today?
No, haven't seen that at all.
He farted.
Oh.
And
Wait,
then
we talking Andrew or are we talking the guy from
No, we're talking
Jacksonville?
about Trent Baalke from Jacksonville at his press conference, talking to the media, farted, paused, looked around, and then said, "Excuse me," and then continued.
It happens
It
sometimes.
happens.
Look, I'm
It
just going to
happens.
say.
Sometimes at bad moments.
We're gathering everybody in here today, and Tyrone's making a big stink, so to speak. And I'm like, hey, what happened? What's going on there? And everybody's like, Andrew, what the hell? Yeah, Andrew messed up today. Andrew pulled a Jacksonville Jaguar GM right before we had everybody in for our, gab session.
And he tried to blame me.
No. Did he really?
He didn't blame. He took ownership of the fart, but he said it was my fault that the wind got into the studio because I was walking in to check in to make sure that all you guys were set up. He was trying to say that it was my fault that the smell got into the studio.
Now, Ricky's standing outside of our studio right now pointing at you and saying, yeah, I blame him too.
Oh.
You blame Ray?
Lunacy.
No, he's kidding. No.
Lunacy from Ricky
There's
on
no
that
way.
one.
No. And apparently it was really bad. Luckily, it didn't make it to this part of the studio. But so
Ricky's
it's all
coming in here.
Ricky is coming in. It's all Salciunas' fault, right?
It was 100% Salciunas.
Yeah.
And he stinks too bad.
Luckily, it didn't get over here.
I was pissed.
I don't know how people do that to other people. That's
he was
rude.
Oh, it was horrible.
It's disgusting.
He was sitting right next to Ty, too. So, and he said, I did it outside, and Ray brought it in with him.
Yeah, that's crap.
That is,
literally.
literally.
Yes.
It's disgusting. A horrible smell.
I don't know how people do that. It's just
It was wrong.
bad.
It was wrong.
It's
It was
wrong.
disgusting. I felt terrible
It's
for
bad
Tyrone
stuff,
sitting
bad
there.
Stuff. Especially it's wrong because we were all in there, too.
Yes, I feel bad for you. But great job today. I'm so glad that you joined us.
You did a really nice job. You're a good host.
Thank you, buddy.
You hosted us very nicely. Maybe you come
make
on
it
our
easy.
show for an hour and sit there.
I'll come on for an hour and sit there. Just give me 5 minutes to go run to the store and get some beers.
Thanks, Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky is the man. All right, Matt in Levittown. He wants to talk about Sixers. Obviously, New York Knicks. Matt, what's going on, buddy? You're on the Fanatic.
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Doing great.
I just wanted to say,
Hello?
I just wanted to talk about how I feel like Kyle Lowry is a super, as much as people love Kyle, they sort of do go the other way on Tobias, and we've talked about this. So it's really exciting, this series to me.
Is that the
it's
word
like-
you would use, Matt, to describe the series? Exciting?
No, that is not what I would use to describe the series.
Okay.
I just am excited about it. And real quick, I want to go back and say thank you so much. You guys gave me the tickets last week to the playing game, and it was totally awesome. Me and my daughter so enjoyed it.
Oh, that's awesome, Matt. So
She
glad
gave
you
me
had a
little
good time.
Patience. I'll be honest with you. I was like, after the first half, when they just kept turning the ball over, I was like, Abs, if they get down 20, we're out of here. She's like, wait, why? You don't do that. That's not how we roll. I was like, you're right, but I don't know if I could be able to take it after the last time we came down, which was Game 7 on Father's Day.
Oh.
But she talked me into making sure we stay, and then we got the rewards of that. So it was that was awesome. It was
All right, Matt, give me a word. Give me one word to describe
Ugly.
this series. What is it?
Ugly.
Ugly. I love it. Matt, thanks so much for the call. So glad you had a good time at the game. Ugly brawl, physical. All these things are coming into play. Somebody said confident this morning. I think one of the first calls we took on it. I wonder what the confidence level is. That's why I asked people to call, because I don't know yet. I still don't know what my confidence level is for this game. Yours is high. Sixers and 6.
I said I'm relatively confident, but this could change after game 1. It could change after game 2.
Yeah,
it's going to be a roller coaster.
Quarter.
Yeah, it's going to be a roller coaster.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a real interest. Like that game the other night. I view that as fun. Like I do. I get in the car. I left right before halftime so I could get home to see the whole second half from the arena. And I'm thinking, okay, Sixers couldn't have played any worse. How are they going to adjust to this zone? I kind of was taught, games are chess games. And you got to figure out, all right, if you're the losing team, how can you become the winning team? If you're the winning team, how can you hold on to that lead? Like, I like that chess match thing. I thought the other night was fun because, obviously, the Sixers won, but they figured out a way how to get it done. I thought that was good. Floyd in Georgia wants to talk a little Joel Embiid. Floyd, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Hey, Bob, Bill, how you guys doing?
Great, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. Bob, this is more for you. I think you will understand what I mean. You know, when you played in high school basketball, you would have this guy in the gym who could, dunk and had skills, and you would wonder why he doesn't play varsity. But when he goes to practice and the lights go on, he just seems like he clams up. He can't really play that well, even though he's more talented than probably you would be, right?
Okay, I think I know where you're going with this, Floyd.
I feel like Embiid is that guy. Like, all during the season when the pressure's not on, you can see his skills, you can see he can play, he can turn his back to the basket, shoot three. He does all that. But when the lights come on in the playoffs, he seems like he does have that mopey body. He does have that, we need the other guys to step up. It's like, when you got the Kobe or Shaq, they want the ball. Embiid is looking to get rid of the ball. And I'm a fan. I'm not a hater of Embiid. It's just he reminds me of that guy that just doesn't play well when the lights are the brightest, and that kind of makes me nervous.
Yeah, and Floyd, look, you have a lot of things to back you up, right? Game 7 against Boston a couple years ago or last year, whatever it was. A Game 6 where they're up late in the game and they didn't. Yeah, you have evidence. You don't have to apologize or say that you're stating your opinion with facts also. I do wonder, A, injuries come into play also with some of the examples you gave. B, what kind of different defenses is he facing? But I'm sure Kobe, I'm sure Shaq, I'm sure Jordan, they did also, right? They faced different defenses.
They've seen every defense possible, and it's not that Embiid wasn't getting opportunities for shots in that Game 6, for example. He had opportunities. One, he would pass the ball. Sometimes he turned the ball over. He had weak possessions where he stand and lock legs. So to me, and I'm not, playing roughhouse when you're younger, game point was important. It seems like without him having that 12 to 15 year, playing that 12, 13, 14, 15, it seems like that brings that out of you when you're playing roughhouse. You got game point. You got these different things. It seems like he don't have that where Kobe and Shaq does.
Yeah, Floyd, thanks so much for the call. Hope you enjoy the series. Appreciate it. Bill, your thoughts on that? Has Joel Embiid, is that maybe in the back of your mind like, all right, you need him to be big. You need him to show up huge in a huge game. Is there doubt or is there more confidence in your mind that he's going to be able to come through there?
I know we're all looking at that Game 7 from last year against Boston. But you look at the other games in that series. One, he came back from injury. If you remember, he missed a couple of games, comes back from injury. In Game 3, he's dropping 30 and 13. Game 4, 34 and 13. Game 5, 33 points. So, those are big moments. I know they're not Game 7, but those are still big playoff games that he did show up. So I'm less down on Joel. Yes, I want to see him be able to perform at a high level throughout these playoffs, but I said it earlier on the show, I need the supporting cast to hit their shots when the Knicks do double-team Joel, when they do crash down on Joel and he facilitates. We need the other guys to come up too. So I'm not putting it all on Joel Embiid. I don't think the moment's too big for him. I don't.
And you properly pointed out the other day, yesterday I guess it was, 11 points, 4 rebounds, 2 for 2 from 3, 3 for 5 from the field, 3 for 3 from the line, 11 points in that fourth quarter. When you needed him most, he was there for you, besides the great pass to Kelly Oubre, which got you a three-point play also. All right, stick with us, because when we get back, I want to hear from you some more about this Sixers-Knicks series. Let me know your confidence level, or if it's not there, also want to hear what your word is to describe this series before it gets started. Bill Colarulo is here until closing time, which is 2 o'clock, and then the best show ever comes. Bob Cooney, middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers and Knicks start Saturday. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by AAA. Even the most skilled drivers experience mishaps on the road. That's why you should join AAA and get the peace of mind that comes from having expert roadside assistance that's just a tap away. The 76ers open up the first round of the NBA playoffs up in New York against the Knicks. The matchup has not been kind to them this season. In the regular season, they're 1-3 against them, averaging under 87 points per game. Now, of course, you have to take into account the availability concerns. You missed Maxey for a game. Embiid only played in one of the games against the Knicks this year. That game was all the way back in January, and the big man is going to be a big part, of course, of what we're talking about going into this series. Another big man on this team made some waves on Thursday as Paul Reed went on FanDuel TV and had this to say about the matchup with the Knicks.
I feel like we ain't ducking no smoke, but yeah, we wanted the Knicks matchup. Of course, that's the easier team, I guess. But, it's going to be fun. We match up pretty well with them. They got a great guard.
Chance to show how you match up with them coming up Saturday night in Game 1 at 6 o'clock, which you can listen to live right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. An extended pregame show for the game begins at 3 o'clock right here with Tyrone Johnson, Bob Cooney, and D. Lynham getting you set for the series. Speaking of series, the Phillies open up one with the White Sox this weekend. Chicago's been bad, 3-15 this year. Spencer Turnbull gets the ball today as the game starts at 6:40. Phil's looking to pick up a couple wins this weekend. I'm Ray Dunn. Breaking sports news all day, every day is here. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The best show ever. Opinion and conversation on Philly's hot sports topics. Tyrone Johnson, Ricky Batalico, and Jennifer Scordo. This afternoon at 2. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Hey, on FanDuel Casino, you'll find games you can't play anywhere else. Step inside the factory gates for a chance to unwrap sweet wins when you play the World of Wonka slot game. Spin for 24-karat wins in FanDuel Gold and sink your claws into Fort Knox-sized jackpots in Fort Knox Cats. Plus, keep an eye out for more new games coming exclusively to FanDuel Casino.
I don't know. I just can't get over that. I can't get over. I mean, I know he had a good fourth quarter. I know he played a lot of minutes. I just can't get over the fact that it does not look like he can move right now.
You know what's funny, Mitch? And I'm not going to disagree with you. I hear exactly what you're saying. Early in the game, so I was lucky enough. I was at midcourt about 10 rows up. And early in the game, he got the ball, familiar position, free throw extended to the left. And he's about 15 feet out. He dribbled once to his left, crossed back over to his right, and went to drive the lane. I turned to the guy that I was sitting with, Pat Egan, and I said, my God, I was never that fast on a crossover dribble when I was playing at 5'11". He looked good early on. But I hear what you're saying about the movement maybe a little bit later.
Yeah, it's just, and I'm watching, and I kept my eye on him, and there's plenty of times he was the last guy on the screen to get back on offense or defense. It's just really concerning to me. And when I also think about this kind of in the long term, I don't know if we can expect 6 or 7 weeks of really intense, high-level basketball from that knee. I just don't know.
It's fair enough to have questions, Mitch. He only did have surgery 2 months ago, and appreciate the call. Enjoy the day out there. But, it was only 2 months ago for a knee surgery.
Well, and Mitch says, hey, he can't move, and then cites to the fact that he was the last one getting down the court. Is that the knee or is that conditioning? That's the million-dollar question that I think we're going to find out over the next couple of weeks, hopefully over the next couple of weeks, because they're going to go on a long playoff run. But because we were saying, Bob, if you remember, his first few games back, we thought he looked good. He did have that lateral movement. He wasn't shying away from contact. He looked like he had some jump off that left knee. So was it just conditioning? Was it not having played for a couple of months and then having to play at that high level like you did in that play-in tournament? Let's hope that he's going to be more conditioned as the playoffs continue.
And with this, Bill, see if you agree with me on this or not. With Joel Embiid, and I saw somebody say, he just didn't seem to have lift. Does Joel Embiid have a game where you see a lot of lift?
He doesn't need a lot of lift. He's so close to the rim.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. I've like air quotes here, complained about it before. Like, how many times do you see him jump over people to grab a rebound? How many times do you see him jump over people to slam a dunk home when maybe that's what you need? It's like that power thing. You don't see it an awful lot. So I think it's hard for us to determine, he doesn't have lift. Well, even when he's fully healthy, when he goes for a layup around the basket, a lot of times the ball isn't let go with his arm fully extended and his body fully upright. No, he goes up and he'll double hitch and he'll shoot the ball down around his head, around his chest, something like that. I don't know if we can read lift all that much. I think we can read maybe if his conditioning's not there, and maybe that does have to do with the knee. But I think that's where the cloudiness comes in, is because we're looking for this tremendous lift. His jump shot, it's not a lift. It's pretty much a set shot. We've seen it 1,000 times. So to me at least, it's really hard sometimes to see if it's the knee bothering him or if it's conditioning.
And on top of that, is there a thought process maybe potentially of budgeting what you have? Like, for me, that's the one thing. We had the conversation yesterday, and it was actually something I was thinking while I was driving home. And it's the idea of, okay, yeah, early on, I mentioned a couple of times he settled for a couple of jumpers, and you mentioned the time that, he really went and attacked and took himself to the bucket, and that was what I was looking for early on. And as I'm driving home yesterday, I'm like, why am I looking for that early on? You know how many times he's played in the postseason at this point? You know how well he knows his body at this point and how well he knows where he's at? Do you think that he's going to give you that in the first quarter, where he's going to exert that when he knows he's just trying to get himself in that condition to go win a basketball game? There's a reason why in the fourth quarter he had 11 points. There's a reason why he was able to be such a factor down the stretch, because he was able to budget out what he had to give you the most at the end. Like, I think there is a little bit of that to him, where he understands that, where, I think it was just mentioned, at least the last one back on offense, last one back on defense. That's not something entirely new from him.
Right.
Like, he has done that, where he understands the wear and tear his body's going to take in a game and what it's going to take for him to get them where they need to go.
That's a good point, Ray. And if you think about it, he had 2 threes in the fourth quarter, one very late. If you don't have legs, a lot of times that ain't falling because you're overcompensating with something else. Either it becomes more of an arm shot or something, and you're just not having it. Those 2 threes late in the game, they look good. They went in. I don't think you do that without your legs all that much. Al in West Philly has a comparison. Al, you're on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Yes. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, you were mentioning about Michael Jordan and Kobe wanting that ball, But don't forget, I was saying to myself, yeah, but Michael had John Paxson and Steve Kerr to make some big shots for him. So it's always good to have somebody to pass that ball to that can knock.
Well, you have a 26 a point a night scorer and Tyrese Maxey next to you.
Yeah, but Michael had Pippen next to him, and Kobe had Shaq. But they still, but Michael still had John Paxson or Steve Kerr.
Yeah, good outside shooters. Yeah, Sixers have some good outside shooters. Buddy Hield's made the second most.
Right. So what I'm saying, guys, star players, superstar players have to have that guy also. Kobe had Big Shot Bob or something like that.
Yeah, Bob Horry.
Yeah, all right, that's what I want to say.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate it.
No, he makes a good point. I mean, basically what he's saying is it's not always the main star that has to do everything, but we do this in every sport, Bob. It's not just basketball. When a football team struggles, we want to blame the quarterback. When the hockey team struggles, you want to blame the goaltender. When the baseball team struggles, it's usually not Johan Rojas. We're blaming, the star hitter. It's because it's easier to blame the star. It's the person that you look to win your game. So when you lose, you want to blame the star. But it's not always Joel Embiid.
No, and if you want to go through the history of all the players that they've brought in to be beside him, from the Ersan Ilyasovas to the Jimmy Butlers to the Dario Saric's to the, J.J. Reddick's, go on down the line. I wrote a list, Bill, of like 16 semi-prominent players that they brought in to be that added piece for a Joel Embiid, and it's never worked. They've been there. Like, I'm not disagreeing with that, but they've been there.
They've tried. They've tried. I mean, look. You look at a lot of the teams who've won the championship over the last few years, and maybe Denver could be considered a little bit different, but they've all had those big two or big three. Has Joel really had a solid second piece? I mean, maybe James Harden last year. I mean, would you put one of the deepest teams he ever had? Who was the solid second piece? Ben Simmons?
Jimmy Butler?
He did have Butler.
Yeah.
He did have Butler.
They've just tried so many things. It's funny, and it could frustrate you if you go through it. In my old notebook, I had the list because I did it with John one day, and I went all the way from, you had Bellinelli and Ilyasova, two good outside shooters. You had the J.J. Redicks of the world. You had the Jimmy Butlers, the James Harden, the good Ben Simmons. Don't forget, Ben Simmons was good at one point.
But the year that you're referring to, that's the year Toronto beat us on the triple doink shot, right?
Yep.
I mean, so you're right. They didn't get over the hump that year, but man, were they close.
Yeah, they were.
Well, with that team, even though you're five, you're five and what, one or two off the bench? You were not a deep team that year.
Yeah.
You were their five starters, and anytime Embiid came off the floor, it was a disaster. Because what was it, Monroe at that point that was backing
Was it Greg
him up?
Monroe?
I forget who the backup was that year, but whoever it was, you were a minus $1 million whenever Embiid was off the floor.
Minus $1 million.
I mean, pretty much. Anytime he came off the floor, even with the bubble guts in that series, they were a disaster without him out on the floor. And it's interesting, I think, when you look at the idea of the big threes, I think you've been more team-oriented in the years in which you've seen, over the last couple of years. The Lakers won one in the bubble, but you look at that Toronto team, minus 91 is what Tyrone's telling me for the non-Embiid minutes. But you look at Kawhi and a team around him. You look at Giannis, a team around him. You look at Jokic, a team around him.
Yeah,
I think that's what excites me about this group is you have Embiid, and I like the team that surrounds him, the complementary pieces around him.
That's where your confidence has to be if you're looking at this next series. A couple minutes left until closing time at 2 o'clock before Tyrone, Ricky, and Jen from the Best Show Ever join you. But if you want to squeeze in a call, let us know what you think about this series. 610-632-0975. We will wrap this up in the next segment. Bill Colarulo, thanks so much for being here. Bob Cooney, middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Tyrone Johnson, Ricky Batalico, and Jen Scordo. The best show ever. Listen weekday afternoons 2 to 6. The Eagles, the Phillies, the Sixers, and the Flyers. We have you covered all day, every day. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
This week's Pro to Watch is brought to you by Bradford White Water Heaters. They're built to be the best. It's time for the NBA playoffs, and it's time for Joel Embiid to step up and lead the 76ers somewhere that they haven't been since 2001. His surgically repaired knee appears to have healed well, but the pressure on Joel and the Sixers might never be higher. The silver lining is that the supporting cast, featuring guys like Maxey and Kelly Oubre and Buddy Hield, have been forced into more critical moments in his absence. Their lives should get easier now. It's going to be a wild ride this spring. Let's all try and enjoy it.
Homeowners, improve your family's comfort with a Bradford White Water Heater and enjoy all the hot water your household needs all day, every day. With Bradford White, you get more than just a water heater. You get our commitment to quality and reliability that you can trust. How you heat your water matters, so don't compromise when it comes to your home or your hot water. Bradford White water heaters are built to be the best because your home deserves it. Visit BradfordWhite.com to learn more and find an installation pro near you.
Some people just know bundling with Allstate means big savings. Just like they know the right ingredient means big flavor. They know honey on pizza is where it's at. And olive oil on ice cream is the cherry on top. And they know when you bundle home and auto with Allstate, you can save up to 25%.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Sign up today for the CertaPro Painters Miles for Mental Health 5K Run and Walk on Sunday, April 28th, starting at 9 a.m. at Ballackinwood Park. The race is co-hosted by the Rotary Club of Ardmore. Proceeds benefit Operation Home and Healing, a program from the Council for Relationships organization, which provides support direct therapy services for veterans, active military, and their families. CertaPro Painters, your local painting professionals in Sherwin-Williams, are proud to sponsor this event. For more details, go to CertaPro.com/Bryn-Mar. Each local CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
For Philly by Philly, Rand Spear understands your legal needs. Your hometown lawyer is ready at 1-800-90-LEGAL. Demand Rand.
Don't miss the Sports Investors Daily Radio Show. Host Chris Hodge breaks down college and pro games from a gambling perspective. Every Saturday morning at 8 on The Fanatic.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
This week at Acme, don't miss the digital deal for Signature Select Frozen Pizza for just $2.99 each. Clip this deal and unlock hundreds more when you sign up for Acme For You. Visit acmemarkets.com/4U or download the Acme mobile app to sign up and save today.
This week at Acme, get a value pack of Signature Farms drumsticks, thighs, or legs for just $1.29 per pound. Hurry in now or download the Acme mobile app to shop any way you want, in-store, delivery, or to drive up and go. Acme, fresh foods, local flavors.
The real and inside story on Philly sports is here, and it's powered by Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Visit LundyLaw.com.
That's LundyLaw.com.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
This is Philadelphia's sports station for breaking news. More with Bob Cooney, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Welcome back as we close out the day and the week here on Middays. Bill Colarulo joining us all day today. Hope you're having a great Friday. Hope your day's coming to an end shortly. I got to tell you that the 1 o'clock hour is brought to you by Ferguson HVAC Lyon Conklin. Attention HVAC contractors for equipment, parts, and supplies for every heating and cooling job. Visit one of Ferguson's counter locations in Bensalem, King of Prussia, Pennsauken, or Westchester. All right, Bill, 6 o'clock tomorrow night. You will be where to watch the 76ers New York Knicks Game 1?
In my basement, by myself. with me and my fiance. I don't have the kids this weekend, so I'll be watching the game, taking notes. You said I like my notebook, so I usually sit, take notes, watch the game. And I'm looking forward to it. But before that, I'm going to be here tomorrow morning.
That's right.
From 9 to 12, so we'll do some more Sixers talk tomorrow morning, and we'll do some NFL draft talk as well, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun next week. Oh, you got Bill all this weekend. Tomorrow afternoon, 3 to 6, is Tyrone, D. Lynham, and myself taking you into Sixers basketball. We'll be here 3 to 6 to get you ready for the Knicks and the 76ers tomorrow night. I'm a feel guy. Go ahead. What do you got?
Where are you watching the game?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll run out of here. I don't know. I don't know what the Cooney family has planned for the weekend. I know we have plans tonight, and then tomorrow. I don't know. I haven't. Bill, you'll learn this about me the more we're together, and I think it might drive Ray a little bit nuts. I am such a day-to-day guy. I'm talking to my son last night, who lives in Charlotte. He's coming home. It's the first time I'm going to see him next weekend. He's coming home for the first time in months. I haven't seen him since Christmas. And you know how it is with him. It breaks your heart. So I'm talking to him, and, he's like, yeah, so do you think you can pick me up from the airport? Oh, yeah, that's right. When are you coming home? It's like, Thursday, Dad. I'm coming home next Thursday. It's like, yeah. But I am.
You haven't thought that far ahead.
I don't. And, as a matter of fact, driving in today, I'm thinking about tomorrow morning. Usually we do our food shopping Saturday morning and stuff like that. And I'm trying to think out the day. And I was like, oh, I got to work. I totally forgot that I have to work. So I don't know. Afterwards, maybe I'm meeting my wife somewhere. I'll go to wherever they are, whatever. But somewhere good, somewhere special. Tape the game and watch it again at another time during the weekend, too.
Now, Ray, we got 4 minutes to try, or not even 3 minutes to try to get out of Bob his prediction for Knicks Sixers. He hasn't given it to us yet. I'm not sure we're going to get one.
No, I don't think we're going to get one. I think he's smart here. What he's going to do is he's going to go, bleed out the clock here, and he's going to tease that he's going to give you that prediction on Saturday, because that forces you to listen to him 3 to 6 tomorrow.
I have another show tomorrow before the series starts.
So he's gonna be, I don't need to give it now. I've got another chance on the air to give it.
I gave it already to Dylan for our Instagram
post.
No,
you did not. No, you did not.
Did
you
I
got to
not?
watch the Instagram post to hear his prediction, but he did not give a prediction.
Did he predict that games were going to be played? Basketball would occur?
No.
He made a prediction where he can't be wrong. I'll say that.
See that?
Someone's going to win the series.
Whoever wins the series is going to win it by winning 4 games.
It's good. That's good.
You don't have to give a prediction, but in this city, we tend to have a football mentality about everything. How important, though, is game 1 on Saturday? If the Sixers don't win that game, how much do you think that impacts the rest of the series?
It's a great question. We've seen everything. We've seen teams get blown out in game 1 and win game 2. We've seen teams lose really close games in game 1 and then maybe get blown out in game 2 or whatever. We've seen it all. How it affects the series, I don't know. I can't see things that the Sixers can't figure out on Saturday. If that Miami game went on and became a series, say if that Miami was a series, and every time Miami went zone, the Sixers couldn't figure it out, that would drive me nuts. I can't see tomorrow something happening that I say, oh, my God, there's something in the series that the Sixers might not be able to figure out. It could be as much as Jalen Brunson's game. It could be something as little as, why is it that every time Joel Embiid is double-teamed in the post, they're not kicking it out to the open guy? There could be different things. I don't know. Will tomorrow sway me one way or the other? That's a great question, Bill. A blowout win would make me feel really good, I guess, right?
If they lose game 1, I don't think that it necessarily means the Sixers are going to lose the series. But if they win game 1, I may get a little too excited and say they're definitely going to win the series if they could steal game 1 at Madison Square Garden.
Because that's the first thing you have to do. You have to split up there.
Exactly.
You can't come home down 2-0. That's the obvious. In every sport that you play a 5-7 game series, you got to split at the other people's place. So a prediction for tomorrow, I see a lower scoring game. I see one that comes down to being tight in the fourth quarter. But this is coming from the numbnuts who said that the Sixers were going to win by double digits against Miami. So take for it what you will.
Will they
But
score more than 79 points?
I think that is safe to say yes. I do believe the Sixers will. So, all right, we close it out here. Get ready for the best show ever. Bill, thanks so much again for being with us. Always love having you on board. Those of you out there, have fun this weekend. Root for your Sixers. Please be careful. Please be nice. So much easier to be nice to people than it is to be mean. Ricky, have a great weekend. See y'all on Monday.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Sixers and Knicks start this weekend. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Summit Racing Equipment. Revive your ride. It's